Welcome to day 3 of our 3-day sexual empowerment training. I am so excited to round this 3-day training off. Um, I hope that the first couple days have provided you with a lot of value, with some things to think about, with some fuel and some knowledge and some wisdom into what to do if you are going through this reemergence of your sexuality and a reevaluation of what it is and how it's been experienced in your life and how you want to continue to experience it moving forward. And the feedback that I've gotten so far is that this is perfect timing. And honestly, if you follow astrology at all, then sexuality and going into your shadow and going into these aspects of ourselves that have, for many generations, I want to say, been really suppressed and really denied and really misinformed and demonized, that we're going into these aspects of our humanness, of our human experience, in order to bring them into the light and to be healed. So sexuality is one of those aspects, and it's one of the aspects that obviously that I'm really passionate about, and I'm really passionate about educating on, teaching and coaching others on and through their own healing journey. So just a quick recap about what day 1 was, what the first part was. It was all about your sex and you, your relationship with the different aspects of you that make up your wholeness, that make up your sexuality. So your body, your emotions, your mindset, all of these things, we want them to be in alignment and we want them to work for us. We want to be empowered by the use of them and in our relationship with them. So I won't recap too much on those things, but that's the basic foundation, is getting right with your body. How do you feel about your body? What are the thoughts that you have about it, and your emotions? And are you able to fully express your emotions and fully feel your emotions? And if you're not, what kind of things are you doing in order to get into the place that you can do that? Because this relationship with your body and feeling really good about yourself, no matter what shape, size, age, what ability that you have, and being able to really fully and express all of your emotions, which is a human thing, right? A human gift, I would say. And being able to really open yourself up to really allowing those things to come up and through you. And then also your mindset around sexuality and pleasure and orgasm and even love and money. What is your mindset? What are the limiting beliefs that are going on underneath the surface, the subconscious layer of your being that you're not even fully aware of, but that maybe little by little are starting to pop its head out from beneath the surface and wanting to make it itself aware. Make itself known to you so that you can bring it up and bring it out. And then yesterday, day 2, we talked about your sex and others. So how is, first you want this solid foundation of your sexuality with you, your sex and you, your relationship with yourself, and then bringing other people into it and how that creates a situation. It creates the space to really explore and figure out what's going on energetically with your boundaries, with your issues around trust, with your issues around safety, and being able to be really open to vulnerability and intimacy and really being seen and really being felt and known. And then also respecting your own boundaries, respecting your own limits and what you desire and what you don't desire and what you're not quite ready for, and then honoring that in yourself and communicating that to your partner, communicating that to the other. So really owning this first yourself, being confident in what it is that you want, and then being able to communicate that to someone else. And that is the container that you want to create in order to exchange this energetic flow with somebody, to have this energetic dance of sexuality and sensuality and intimacy, and really melding your energy with somebody else. And you want to do that in a really loving and respectful and honoring way. And you have to begin with you first. So this is all about you, and beginning to have all of these aspects within you solid and good, so that you can share it with someone else, but then you can also bring it out into the world. You can not transmute, but translate this sexual confidence and this sexual certainty and this sexual energy and excitement and passion, and translate that into your everyday life. Translate that into your life with your family and your work and your hobbies, and with the things that you're interested in creating in your life, right? So creating your actual life using the sexual energy that you're cultivating through these awarenesses and these practices, and really bringing that out into the world through your life. That's what that's what today is about. That's what day 3 is about. So today we are going to talk about that. How do I get, I'm starting to get clear about what my sex really is, what it means to be a sexual creature, the aspects that go into really owning my sexuality, owning my experience of sex within my own body and with a partner. So how do I start to really move this? How do I start to use this in my life? That's what today's about. So to begin, the practices around this first is, well, the first thing that I want to just point out and to just put out there is that your sexual energy is a creative energy. So your sexuality, your sex lies in, if you know the chakra system at all, it lies within your sacral chakra and your root chakra, the red and the oranges. So it's your root, which is your bottom, your perineum, that area, your seat, and your sacral is, and your legs, right? That's your root, everything that's connected down into the ground. So your feet, your legs, everything all the way from your feet up to your perineum, which is the part of that little skin, the part of the skin that is in between your anus and your vagina. So that whole area, and then your sacral chakra, which is everything that is underneath your belly button. So your reproductive system, your uterus, your ovaries, your vagina, everything between your hips. And so obviously, as that is part, like I just said, that is our reproductive system. That is the part of our body, of our biological or physiological self that is all about creating. It's all about creating new life. It's all about rebirth, and it stores, right? It stores genetic material. It stores the essence of life itself. And I mean, I don't have to really go deeper into it than that. It stores the essences of life itself. So your sex, your sexuality, your sexual energy is creative energy, and you don't have to have kids. You don't have to intend to have kids for that to be stimulated, for that energy to be used, because we are energetic creatures. So a big, huge part for me and the work that I do around sexual empowerment is gaining this awareness that sexuality is way more and deeper than your physiological sex, your physiological functioning of reproduction, right? It's an energetic beingness, it's an energetic existence, it's a spiritual and it's a spiritual aspect of you. So creating, anytime you have this, that's where your fire is. Your fire is in your sacral. It's where your sexual energy lies. That's the fire in you. Anytime you want to birth something, whether it's a project or an actual human, a business, an idea, I say project because that really incorporates a lot of things, then you're doing it through this area. So the more healing that you can allow to occur there, the more energy and cultivation and attention and health that you can cultivate in that area of your body, in that area of your beingness, the easier it is to start birthing these things. It's easier it is to start bringing out these things that you're creating into the world, and you feel confident about it. So just like your sexuality, just like your actual feeling turned on and sexy and wanting to get down with someone, get down with yourself and just feel alive and turned on, and day 1 and day 2 is all about that, was really getting pleasure, was really excavating and cultivating that pleasure within yourself sexually. The same thing is once you get confident and once you get good at doing that, proficient at cultivating that juicy turn on, delicious sexiness that, feeling sexy, that part of you, then the easier it is to start creating and manifesting your dreams and your desires into the world. And it starts with this pleasure. And this is the beautiful thing about really getting deep into sexuality and what it actually is, and sexual empowerment, and really owning it, is that it goes beyond just what happens in the bedroom. It goes beyond what just happens with your own body. You get to bring this out and utilize this energy to create things, create and manifest and bring new projects and new life into the world. That's what excites me. That's what I'm excited about teaching, and that's what I'm excited about others being excited about. So to begin, right, we're going to, I have some things that we can go through, some practical exercises, because we want to start moving this energy. We want to start cultivating this energy. We want to start churning it, right? We just want to get this motor going. We want to start cranking this motor. So this ties in day 1 and day 2 perfectly, because these are the practical things. Okay, yeah, I get the mindset, I get the emotions. What do I actually do? So basic thing that you can do is start to create a self-pleasure ritual. So if this is something that you're really wanting to commit to and you really want to make a daily part of your life, and you really want to get to that point where you're feeling confident and able to create these things in the world and utilize this energy for bigger things, you need to start a ritual. So once a day, 5 minutes a day, once a week, how much time in your week can you devote to focusing on your sexual self? What does that even mean, right? How much time during the week, how much time, right? And be very clear. 1 hour a week I can do. 1 hour every other day. 5 minutes a day, maybe you can build into your routine. 5 minutes a day. Put an actual number to it. How many minutes, how many hours per week, per day can I devote to my sexual self? Okay, so what does that look like? It looks like it looks like looking at yourself in the mirror, starting to appreciate what you're seeing, getting yourself into this place where you can look at yourself and really appreciate what it is that you're seeing in the mirror, that you can see yourself as a sexual being, that you can start to feel the energy. And it can just be energy. You don't even have to define it as sexual energy. You can feel the energy flowing through your bloodstream, flowing through your limbs, flowing up and down your body. And you can use your breath. So you don't have to, so I'm just going through different practices. So this ritual time that you're going to set aside for yourself every day, every week, these are the certain things that you can start to do. You can do mirror work where you're looking in the mirror and it can go deep, it can go shadowy, it can go a little bit dark, where you start to look into your own eyes and you start to see things that maybe you didn't see before, or the judgments and the fears and the expectations start to come up, and you just be with them. Just be with them. Make love to yourself in the mirror, like by actually looking at yourself in the mirror, and love whatever comes up for you. And that a simple 5-minute practice, a simple 1 minute, try 30 seconds of like really, really looking at yourself in the mirror and allowing whatever comes up, to not judge it. And if tears have to come, that's fine. If laughter, whatever emotions come up for you, allow it to come up and just observe and love whatever comes up. Maybe hate comes up. Maybe intense rage and anger comes up. Just allow it. So that can be a part of it. And this can help with the emotional releasing and the emotional freedom, is really allowing those emotions to come up. Breath work, right? So this is a really huge one, because when you're wanting to move energy, when you're wanting to start to like actually use your body as like a conduit for this energy, you're going to want to be in tune with your breath. You're going to want to like really know how to use your breath to move this energy. So there's a couple exercises that I can go through, and I'll go through those right now. So one of them is sitting, and you're going to, so you can sit, you can do the standing too, but so we're focusing on pleasure, right? We're focusing on really, I'm losing my words, cultivating and really moving, generating, there's the word, generating this sexual energy. So in order to do that, if you know Kegel exercises, okay, so I was going to talk about breath work, but let's start with the actual mechanics of your body. And we're going to use our Kegels. We're going to tighten our perineum. We're going to, so you're going to, like if you're stopping a urine flow, you're going to squeeze your pelvis, like if you're stopping urine, right? Squeeze that as much as you can, and you can let it go. So that's Kegels. Kegels is like you're contracting, you're squeezing those pelvic floor muscles. And when you do that, you might feel a little turn on. You might feel a little bit of like, ooh, like, okay, I can feel that. And so here's part of this exercise. Here's part of the ritual and the really being with yourself through all of this, is that I know for a lot of you, feeling that turn on, feeling that sexual excitement is going to bring up shame. It's going to bring up some feelings of shame and guilt and just icky, like, ugh, like I shouldn't be feeling this. Just be with it. Like to begin, just be with it. And just know that like this is your birthright. And those feelings of shame and guilt and ickiness have to do with conditioning and patterns and things that have gone on in your life before that have caused you to feel those things. So you squeeze those pelvic floor muscles. You really squeeze it. And you can just begin with that. You can do a 5 minutes. Hi, Collier. Um, you can just begin with the squeezing of those muscles and start to just really tune in to like what that feels like, what it feels like to engage my pelvic floor, what it really feels like to engage that part of my body and feel that turn on. And maybe this shame comes up and you just be with it, and then you can release it. So you might want to squeeze it for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let it go for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And then squeeze again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let go for 10 seconds. And then just keep doing that until it feels like you feel like you're comfortable doing that. And like if you feel like, okay, the feelings, you're not being emotionally charged by it anymore. The feelings of shame and guilt aren't coming up. That might take you a week. It might take you a month of just continuously doing just that, nothing else, just squeezing and then breathing. Like make sure you're breathing. And then eventually those feelings, the negatively charged feelings, will just no longer be an issue for you. Like you'll notice that they'll slowly go, as long as you stay with them and you just acknowledge and accept that like this is part of the process. Okay, so now that you have that, you're squeezing your pelvic muscles. So what you can do is you can start to use your breath with that. And the intention is to start to bring that energy. You're squeezing your pelvic muscles, and all of that energy is right down there in your sacral and your root chakra. So you're gonna squeeze those muscles, and as you squeeze, you're gonna breathe in. So it's almost like you're sucking in, you're inhaling from your pussy, right? You're inhaling the air, you're inhaling this energy from your pussy, and you're moving it up into your heart. So you squeeze, you inhale, and then when you exhale, you just blow it out. And what you want to imagine, and what this will start to become, is something that's called a microcosmic orbit. And it's this orbit, it's this circular, the way our energy moves is from the bottom of our spine, our tailbone, up the back of our spine, all the way up into our head to our crown chakra, and then down the front of our body, all the way back down. So when you're inhaling and you're squeezing that pelvic floor, you're inhaling and you're squeezing and you're imagining. Use your imagination, use your visualization, and like imagine this energy, this flow of this sexual, creative, juicy energy going up your spine, up to your crown, and then down the front of your body, back down. And then just keep doing that. Breathe in and out. And for me, actually using my hands to like help move this energy along and to just help me to circulate the breath and to start and visualize what this energy is actually doing. You can do that. You get to do this however you want. This is like all like whatever feels good to you. Do it however feels good, and use your body, use your hands. So you do that. You breathe in, and then when you breathe out, you can let that pelvic floor go. I don't know if I said that, but breathe in, squeeze, let the energy move up, and then as you exhale, let go and let it go down. And then just keep doing that. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however feels good to you. And you can, if you meditate, then you can use some of that time to do that. And this, you can actually get yourself into this meditative, really relaxed, but energized, right? In this like sexually charged way. So that's one of the ways that you can use your breath, is really like in using that pelvic floor, bringing the air in and circulating it, using that microcosmic orbit, and then exhale. So your breath, right? So we got the squeezing of the muscles, we got your breath, and what else? And so another thing that you can do, and just by the way, so that you can add certain things to that. Like that doesn't have to be a practice, just that one breath. Like you can do it, and I'm just gonna give you all the options, and then you get to choose. So when you're doing that microcosmic orbit, you can like move your body, like pretend you're some, I was going to say belly dancer, but that's not what it is, but some sensual goddess. And again, you're alone, you're in the privacy of your home, of your sacred space that you're creating for yourself. I didn't even touch upon that, but when you're doing these rituals, create a space for yourself. If you have a family, if you have people that are, around you, and I actually had a dream about this last night where in the dream, I wanted to touch myself, right? I wanted to have an orgasm, and I wanted to please myself, and I wanted to touch myself, but I was in a room with somebody, and I wanted to like kick her out because I knew that she just did that, like she just had that, because was a relationship, but I felt weird being like, I need you to leave so that I can have this private space. So anyways, take some time. If it needs to be the bathroom, make it the bathroom, but bring in a blanket, bring in something that's going to make you feel sexy and like warm and wanting to do this, not on the cold, hard linoleum floor. And if it's a bedroom, make sure the doors are locked, things like that. Create your sacred space, light candles, make it as involved and as sensual and as beautiful as you want it to be. And so creating your sacred space, doing the breath work, right? Just starting to train your body to get used to moving that energy, moving your breath. And then you get to start, and then you can add in movements. Once you start getting comfortable with the breath, you can start moving your body with the breath. So as you're breathing in and you're imagining the energy going up your spine, you can round your spine and let your chest go forward. And as you're breathing out, you go down. So just this beautiful flowing goddess, or if you know anything about Kundalini, which I know just a very little about, but I do know that it's all about these like twin serpents going, spiraling around your spine. So just think of like belly dancers. Think of like those sexy, even like Latin flamenco dancers, and how they move and how they just let their body flow. Really build that relationship with your body, and then experience and really go slow and really feel every inch of that. Feel what that feels like to move your hips like that. Does that feel good, or is there tightness there? And your belly, let it hang, let it do whatever it's going to do, and feel it jiggle. And it might be really awkward at first to feel the jiggle of your belly or the jiggle of your boobs or whatever it is, but then you'll start to actually like it, and it'll be something that's stimulating for you. So movement is another thing you can incorporate into this ritual. And moving your body, putting on some music, and just allowing yourself to just move with move your body with the music however feels good, and playing with it. And just the intention is just to feel everything, feel good. And if those negative like shame or like odd feelings come up, just be with it. You get to love yourself through all of that. And that's what this is all about. Owning your sex, owning your life, owning your power is all about being with yourself through everything. Not shaming yourself. Oh, I feel shame about this. I'm not sexy, or I'm not going to get through this, or I can't do this, or whatever, or shaming yourself for feeling shame, which is something I know a lot of us women do, and how just sad and ridiculous that is, but I totally get it. But just be with yourself through it. You get to love yourself through all of that. Okay, so movement, right, with the music, getting on the bed. Again, you can go as crazy as you want. Getting on the bed on all fours and doing the like cat-cow pose of yoga, but really making it sexy and making yourself feel juicy. And as you're doing those kegels, or as you're doing that breathing, and like really, you could get super powerful in that and really charge up and generate some energy just by doing that. Sitting on pillows, on your, like if you're kneeling and then you sit on some pillows and you do this undulating, will help to stimulate that area, especially, if you're feeling numbness, if you're somebody who is, it's really hard for you to experience orgasm, or hard to experience pleasure in your vagina, and experience, and there's a lot of emotional stuff there. You can use a pillow to sit on and grind against and just generate that energy, while you're doing the breathing, while you're doing the Kegels, while you're doing all of this stuff. So movement, breath, and then of course touch, right? So this gets to be as non-sexual as in like you're not actually touching your genitals, and you're not actually going inside yourself, you're not actually trying to achieve orgasm. But that's what I mean when I say non-sexual, as you want it to be. Or it can just be, I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes and take maybe some coconut oil, some oils, something that smells really good to me and feels really good to my body, some lotion, whatever it is, and just rub every part of my body. I really like to, my hands need it. But when I do it, like, I really love to take my fingers and just massage every inch of my fingers and my hand. And honestly, such a beautiful way to just show yourself some love. And you get to do that to your whole entire body, every inch of you. You don't have to wait for a partner to worship you. You don't have to wait for a partner to worship you and show your body the love and honor and adoration that it deserves. So touch, right? Really experiencing, allowing yourself to be naked, allowing yourself to feel the sheets on your skin, and the blanket and whatever, the silk, if you have a scarf or something that feels really soft, and allowing yourself. So I mean, we've all heard about these, like, feathers and all of these things, but you get to do this for yourself. And when you do that, it's like, it's such a gift. I don't know. I'm like, I'll just be honest and frank. Like, when I do that for myself and I know I'm like preparing, I know that I'm going to have this session with myself, it feels like I'm so excited for it. And it feels so good to like know that I'm going to be doing that for myself. So you get to do that, and you get to touch yourself, and you get to experience, excuse me, this pleasure, and touch your body, and discover what feels good and what doesn't. So maybe you start to do that and you're like, okay, it feels good, and you're starting to relax into it, and then you touch a part of your body, for example, your belly, right? You get to your belly, and it just starts, like, when you touch it, it feels weird. A lot of shame, or a lot of like not good enoughness comes up, and I'm speaking from experience here. You touch your belly, and you're like, oh, it's too fat, right? It's too big. There's all these stretch marks from having a baby, and honestly, it feels kind of numb, right? The skin of it feels numb, and I don't know, whatever else it is. So you start to notice, like, okay, when I touch this part of my body, it doesn't feel so good. And then you get to explore that. You get to explore that deeper. Okay, so what's going on here? What is it about this part of my body that is unwelcoming to me touching it? Like, what is it about that? Or you don't have to explore it. Maybe you already know, and it's just a matter of touching it, of maybe you don't even have to sensually touch it. You just put your hand over it and use that energy work. So I am an energy worker. I am a Reiki master, and so I have that attunement, but I absolutely believe that you don't need attunement in order to give yourself energetic healing. It's just all about intent. I just covered the mic. It's all about intention. It's all about what you want to do with that energy when you do it. So our hands are fucking powerful. So you put your hands on that part of your body and you just send it love, and you just say, okay, I know exactly why you're feeling uncomfortable. I know exactly why feelings of shame are coming up, and I love you, and it's okay. And just sit with yourself in that space for a moment. And then you can continue. And another way that you can heal that part is by taking the sexual energy, by taking this turn on and this feeling of, I'm just going to say horny because I don't know what else to call it except turn on, but that horny feeling that you get is, you can take that is, and I recently like it clicked for me. I knew it, but when somebody said it, like that feeling of being horny, that is your energy. Like that is the thing, that is the thing that brings all of this healing, I don't know, I don't, this healing energy. But that is the energy, is that like feeling horny, because some people might not know what I mean when I say sexual energy or turn on or whatever. It's like when you're horny and you really, you're feeling the heat down there, you're feeling the good feelings that you feel in that part of your body. So taking your hands and putting them on that part of your body that's feeling shame or feeling not so good, and bringing that turn on into that space, breathing and allowing that turn on, that sexual energy to infiltrate that area of your body. Just like when you do breath and you're sending breath to a part of your body that is hurting at the moment, you do the same thing with your sexual energy, with your turn on. So yeah, exploring your body with your hands, really feeling everything, feeling what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And this, when you do that for yourself, and you really give yourself the time and the space to explore your body, explore the sensations, explore what feels good, and be really certain, like, I love it when I touch this part of my body. Or I would really love, you can also get into this state where you're like, oh, if somebody else was doing this for me, I know that I would feel like 20 million times more pleasure, right? 100 times more pleasure. And so you start to build this relationship with yourself, and then also store this information so that you can tell your partner and you can share this with someone else. Okay, so rituals. So you can bring in the breath, you can bring in the self-touch, and then you get to bring in self-pleasure as far as you want to go. And I'm not going to go into that right now. But you know what I mean. If you want to use whatever tools you use for bringing yourself to orgasm, and then going as slow as you can to get there, hi Oksana, and using this ritual time, this sacred, sacred sexual with yourself, self-pleasure ritual to get to that orgasm, but going slow and using the breath and doing the body movements and doing the sensual touch to get there. And you do that over time, and you take your time, and you really feel every moment, and you're present, like we talked about yesterday, being really present with every moment of this. That's how you build your capacity to hold, your capacity for pleasure, and your capacity for this sexual energy that we're trying to cultivate, and the capacity for this manifestation energy. Yes, you did jump on the prime time. So little tricks, right? Like little hacks that you can, well, actually I'll stay with that. So doing that. So this is all about your ritual. So your self-pleasure ritual, and you make it however you want. Create your sacred space. Incorporate movement, incorporate sound, incorporate smells and touch, and go as slow as you need to. And really, if you can, dedicate like an hour of time to this, when everybody's gone to bed, when you have the space to just go for it and really experience everything. That makes it even better. And then you can do what you got to do and then go to bed and have sweet dreams. Okay, so Body adornment. Okay, great, because that's what I was going to talk about. So the next point is, so you have your ritual, right? So that's one of the ways of practices that we can use to start to cultivate this energy. Okay, I was reading the comment. Thank you, Collier. So body adornment. So starting to, again, with this self-love of your body and starting to appreciate your body and what it does and how it feels and how it moves. Something that I've been playing with is, well, not really. Yeah, it goes with this, but it's something that I've been playing with is not wearing underwear. Like either not wearing bottoms, right? Not wearing panties or not wearing bras, and different ways. And I have really large breasts. So me not wearing a bra and not looking like I'm not wearing a bra is pretty, it's a feat. And if I can accomplish it, then I fucking accomplished something, right? So finding different ways to wear a shirt or wear a scarf or wear something, where you don't have to wear a bra, but it doesn't look like you're not, if you even care. I happen to care. And feeling and allowing yourself to feel that freedom of not having this like constriction on your chest, and feeling your breasts jiggle, or like I said, not wearing underwear, and feeling what the fabric feels like on your skin, and depending on what you're wearing, and it's like being naked. It's like taking something off and you start to feel things differently. The sensations are a little bit different. You'll start to be in that part of our body. Those parts of our body are really sensitive. We're so used to having things like on our breasts, just like strapped to them, and there's nothing getting on there. You're not going to feel anything unless you're naked. The same with your hips and your buttocks and your vagina, like not wearing underwear and just being able to like let it loose, and you start to feel like the little jiggles in the parts of your body that usually aren't jiggling because they're so tight and like tied up. You can start to feel really like erotic. I haven't even said erotic, I don't think, throughout this whole training, but this erotic feeling. And you can be erotic and still wear sweaters and jeans and look in sweatpants and stuff like that and still feel erotic. What about under boobs? Yes, I mean that's more for like in the summer. I did experience that. Such a good question, and that was I won't even. I'll talk about that at another time. But yeah, there's things you could do. You can put things under there, or you can wear multiple layers where the first layer is kind of like you tuck it under your boob, and then the layer on top is the layer. That's funny. But honestly, I didn't have so much of a problem. It was mostly in the heat of summer. But other times it doesn't really bother me. Thank you for asking. So yeah, and then a body adornment. So wearing, and then when you do wear underwear, you do wear, underwear or lingerie or whatever. Wear something that makes you feel sexy. Wear something that when you wear it, you're like, I'm a goddess, or I'm a queen, or I'm a badass, whatever it is. Because maybe you're not into being a goddess or a queen. That's totally fucking cool. Maybe you just want to be a badass, and you think, like leather jackets or metal chains or whatever it is that makes you feel sexy and makes you feel strong and powerful and empowered. Wear that. Yes, I totally feel ya. Me too. So you can wear the sexy lingerie, wear those things, and nobody has to know, but yet you feel like a badass. You feel like a sexy queen because you know what you're wearing. Or, it could even be a ring. It could be jewelry. It could be a necklace. I like to wear malas, like my mala sometimes. I like to wear, and I have one that it's a mala of amethyst, and then it has a huge quartz like crystal at the end of it, and I wear it underneath my clothes, and it fits right in between right in between my breasts. Like I can feel it like in there, and nobody can see it, but I feel it. And there's something about those crystals being right up against my skin, and especially in that area of my body, like right by my heart, right in between my breasts, that feels really not so much sexy, but it just feels good, and it feels sensual, and like it's like a little secret that I have with myself. Like I have this thing that's hanging there. And so I mean, I'm kind of being silly and I'm bringing in like really lighthearted things, but it's true. Like all these little things that we can do that remind us that we're sensual creatures, that we can experience pleasure in so many ways, that cultivates and it generates this energy of pleasure and of fun and of joy and of excitement and sexuality and creativity. So, okay. So the second thing, or the next thing is, again, along the lines of really feeling your feelings, is sacred rage sessions, right? And that's what I called it. But these sessions where you're going all out, you're letting out years and years of rage and anger and pain, and you can do this through there's so many ways you can do this, but you can hit a pillow, you can scream into the bed, you can stomp on the floor, you can rage out, like whatever that looks like to you, and do it to the point, if you can. I've done this mostly. Have I? Yeah, I guess I've done it. I've done it both with a partner and with myself, and doing it to the point where you feel like relief. I don't know, what was my point of this? My point is like really expressing your feelings, like taking time to really get this rage, because this rage that we feel can be like highly like interconnected with sexuality and our sexual energy. So if we can like just express it, like just get the let out, really rage out, then we can like open up this channel for sexual energy. And if you go more, go into this, and just like if you're in a partnership and you've had a fight with somebody, and with your partner, and it's like a heated argument or whatever, and you're fighting and you're angry, and then you come together and you have sex, and how it's usually really awesome. It's the same kind of thing. Like this emotional energy, this emotional stuff that we hold down, that we keep down, prevents us from really experiencing really great, amazing, expansive pleasure. So the point of a sacred rage session, which doesn't have to only be rage, it can be just like, I need to cry. I really just need to like cry for the next 5, 10, 20 minutes. And allowing yourself to do that so that you can open up that gate for pleasure. Because underneath all of that is awaiting pleasure. And I talked about the orgasmic breathing. So yeah, self-care rituals, self-pleasure rituals, making sure that you set time aside for all of this stuff, getting really in tune with your breath. And these are things that you can do, especially the breathing, the cosmic orbit breathing. You can do that anytime during the day. And you can feel that turn on, and you can feel that generation of sexual energy, and nobody has to know. I think that's like my favorite kind of doing this thing, is like the kind of stuff that you can do and nobody has to know. You're all in your own little world, in your own little body, feeling sexy and feeling awesome, and nobody has to fucking know. You don't have to sit there and start masturbating. That's not what this is about. This is about feeling really good about yourself, feeling really good in your body, feeling really good about who you are and how you are as a human, and bringing that out into your everyday life. Okay, so, and those are that's just the beginning of it, right? I thought this was only going to be an hour, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer. And that's totally fine. So, self-pleasure rituals, making sure that you're really accessing your pleasure and your turn on, these little hacks, these little things that you can do to really feel good in your body. Feel good in your, yeah, like I just said, feel good about yourself, and nobody has to know. And I'll just say this, like, if you are with a partner, and if you're, you like me, you're a mom of 500 kids and you're busy all day with them, and it's like, I'm never going to have sex again because this is not even a thing. Like, how do I even fit that in? I'm either going to be too tired or there's going to be somebody walking in, right? Find ways to play with your partner, to be sexy. Like I said, with the whole setting aside time for your self-pleasure ritual, like, you have to do it. You just have to set the time aside. So lock the door, say, okay, everybody, good night. Mom's going to go meditate. Actually, that was one point that I wanted to make, is that if you want to set aside this time to be like, to nobody bother me, and you don't want to say, like, I'm doing my self-pleasure ritual because I'm going to go meditate. And that's exactly what this is. This is all about getting into your higher state of mind, higher self, your higher vibration. So I'm going to go meditate. That can be like your little keyword for yourself. But yeah, setting aside this time, you have to. So if you're with a partner and it's really hard to get away, and it's really hard to, like, once you actually do come together, it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and it's like, all right, let's just do this because I got to get up in 5 hours. Then sneak off little times during the day, go down to the basement. I got to go do laundry. You want to help me? And go make out and go touch each other and explore each other and play a little bit. Like, really bring this play and fun and excitement and exploration and experimentation into your relationship, and be clear, and be open. And again, this can be another live, which it will be, but in a relationship, like, communication is absolutely key. So you can let them know, like, hey, I want to play with you more. I want to play. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean I want to go and I don't want you to enter me. I don't want to have sex. Or have an orgasm, but I do, or maybe I do want you to enter me, but I don't necessarily want an orgasm. I just want to feel you inside me for 2 minutes. Can we do that? Is that going to, like, mess with you? Like, for men, it's a lot different than women. We can do that and not have an orgasm and, like, be totally, like, on fire the rest of the day. But for men, it's a little bit different. So communicating with them, like, you have to be open with them about all of these things, in order to really feel like, empowered. This is what the empowerment is, right? Is to be like, okay, I'm communicating, I get it, like, I'm staying open, staying empowered. All right, so just the last part of this is, let's talk about your orgasm. Okay, let's talk about the orgasm, because that is, like I said, that your turn on, that feeling of, like, being horny, that is your sexual energy. That is what all of this what I'm talking about, that sexual, juicy, feeling alive, feeling turned on, that's what that's about, is that feeling of horniness. But you don't want it to stay in your pussy, like in your vagina. You don't want it to stay there. You want it to expand and be diffused throughout your whole body. So there are ways that you can do that. There's ways that you can learn how to expand your orgasm and expand your pleasure and have, multi-orgasm, multiple orgasms. And you can have orgasms that you feel in your throat and in your head and in your heart and all of that. That's not what I'm going to be talking about at this point. But that, just know that your orgasm, that turn on, and then ultimately your orgasm, is what you can use. That is the fuel that you can use in order to create the things that you want in your life. So I talked about earlier about how sexual energy, how that sits in your sacral chakra, which is all of your, all about creativity. It's the seat of your creativity. So your orgasm, if you know that, and if you understand that, then just think of your orgasm as what would you call it? Like the dynamite, I guess. The dynamite that brings that creativity out into the world, right? So my point about talking about this is because we're talking about how to bring this out into the world, how to bring this sexual energy out into your life, how to create your life with it and create your reality. So just knowing this, you don't have to know the techniques or how to do this right at this point, but just know that you can use your orgasm, that state where your body is like, okay, you're getting up to that climax, and then the release, to create things, to manifest things, to focus your attention, right? So focus when you're at that point. And even better is beforehand. Set an intention. Okay, we're going to have sex right now. Your partner doesn't even have to know. This can all just be in your own head. We're going to have sex right now, and my intention is to, I don't know, I'm all about the money right now. It's to manifest like $5,000, right? That's my intention. I'm going to set an intention. I'm just going to like think of the number 5, and when I orgasm, I'm going to feel all this pleasure. I'm going to build all this sexual energy in my body. We're going to make out. We're going to foreplay, all this stuff. And I'm going to keep that intention in my head. And then when I orgasm, I'm just going to think 5,000, or I'm a badass at making money, right? Money comes easily, whatever it is. You can use affirmations, and that helps to focus that orgasmic energy, focus that creative energy into this manifestation, into this creation. And it can be anything. So if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling any kind of like ache or pain or some kind of disease, or you're sick or something, maybe, I was going to say, maybe you shouldn't be having sex when you're sick, but actually that's like totally not what I think at all. I think when you're sick, if you can manage it, sex is probably one of the best things you can do for yourself, but don't quote me on that. But if you're feeling pain, if you're having some kind of issue, physically, then channel that orgasm into that part of your body. Channel your orgasm into the part of your life that you feel needs healing and needs attention and needs love. And it gets to be fun, right? And it gets to be powerful. And when you do learn those tools for like how to really channel this and how to do this consistently, and the techniques and the different ways that you can play with this, then that's when you get to start to really create your life and really make these manifestations happen. So yeah, your orgasmic focus, and it fertilizes your intentions. That's totally what I wrote down because I liked how it sounded. So your orgasmic focus is the fertilizer for these intentions, for these desires, for these goals. Okay, so that's it. ladies is, use this energy, use this sexual energy that is already sitting inside of you, no matter where you are in your life, no matter what your experience with sex has been like. This sexual energy is inside of you. So you get to use it to feel good about yourself. It can start there. Just you get to use it to just feel fucking amazing about who you are as a person, to actually start to love your body and love what you do and love who you are. And then you get to extend it out to others, extend it out into your relationships with your partner, into your relationships with your kids and your family and your loved ones. And then you get to bring it out into the world. And it gets to be fun. And because it is sexual energy, it gets to be pleasurable and healing. And I totally understand. And there's going to be many of us who have a lot of healing to do around this, and who have a lot of things that they need to get through in order to get to that pleasure and get to that excitement and ecstasy and orgasmic living. But it's possible. And so that's like I just want you to know it's possible. So you can get there, and you just got to keep with it, and you got to love yourself and trust yourself enough to get there. So thank you so much for these 3 days. It's been awesome to teach this and to share this out. Let me just take a sip of water. I've really enjoyed like sharing my knowledge and sharing what I've experienced and what I've learned. And this is really something that I'm really passionate about. And so I've really enjoyed just sharing all of this and for getting your feedback and having you guys let me know what works and like what kind of things. And I've already had people tell me that this has really sparked some healing that needs to happen for them. And I'm so grateful for that. So this was all a little bit, right? Because there was a lot of things I didn't get to talk about, especially around relationships and around the specific techniques and things that you can do on a daily basis or within your self-care ritual, self-pleasure ritual. This is all just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to sexuality and sexual empowerment. And this was the lead up to me talking about, or announcing at least, and leading into my Own Your Sex, Own Your Power program that starts on Monday, next Monday. And it's an 8-week journey to radical self-love, to deep intimacy and pleasure and freedom through sexual empowerment. So we're going to be talking in depth about all of these things that I talked about the last 3 days: your relationship with you, your relationship with others, your relationship with your body, your orgasm, and how you can make that help that use that to manifest things in your life. All of these things. And so if you're interested in that, then PM me, reach out to me. I can answer any questions that you want. I think I might be going live either in this group or on my personal page tomorrow to do kind of a Q&A and just talk about that program in a little bit more depth about what's actually going to be included in it, what are we going to learn, what are we going to go through. But yeah, that starts on Monday. It's 8 weeks of fucking awesome sexual empowerment, and it's going to be fun and juicy and exciting, and there's going to be lots of healing. It's going to be lots and lots of healing, because a lot of us need a lot of healing and a lot of truthful information, right? We get a lot of the bullshit and the misinformation and the repressed and suppressed and demonized information about sexuality, but we need the truth, right? And so I'm ready to share that and more about that. So I hope that you enjoyed this particular video. I hope you were able to catch the last 2. It's going to be up in this group for forever, maybe, unless I decide to take it down. I am going to make it into a series. So yeah, if you want, I have created PDFs for each day. So I have a day 1, day 2, day 3 PDF guide for this work. And I would love to share that with you, all 3 of them. The only thing that I want you to do is just to PM me, send me a message, and let me know what you took away from this training and what you want to know more of. So what is it that like stuck with you? Maybe something you're going to try, something that you are going to think more about. And then the second thing is, what do you want to learn more of? If I was to do a whole live on one thing and go really deep and go really, in depth to that one thing, what would it be? So if you want those guides, just message me. And I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you, Oksana, for being here. And everyone else who joined, so much love. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns, or privately, feel free to private message me, because I know this is very sensitive and personal topic. So I'm happy to have discussions, and to answer your questions via Messenger. All right. So much love. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I absolutely hope that you enjoyed this training, because I know that I enjoyed teaching it. So have a great rest of your night, guys. See you soon. Bye.